Hello, and a huge welcome to the Art of Receiving Masterclass. I am Livy Robertson, and I am so excited to be guiding us today. This is for you if you are a healer, a leader, you are someone that is here to create a whole new paradigm and create massive change with your soul's work and your soul's mission. As you're tuning in live, go ahead and say hello. And if you're listening on the replay or on the podcast, if you love this training where we're going to be going deep, I'm going to be supporting you and shifting exactly what is blocking you from receiving your next level of wealth, your next level of clients. And if this is helpful, I would be so grateful if you were to share it on your socials, invite people into the space. We've got amazing people in the house. Say hello in the comments when you are tuning in. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Jess. So good. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Lisa. I love to share so much with you guys. If you've been to a Paradigm Masterclass before, you know that we go all in and we give it our everything. And I have a call right after in an hour from now. So I'm going to do my best to keep us very concise. So we're going to jump straight into this. If this is the very first time that you've been here in any of my trainings and any of my masterclasses, go ahead and let me know that it is your first time. And hello to everyone that is always here. I love you so much. You're amazing. So let's jump into it. You are here because you are creating incredible things in the world. You are here because you have this vision in your heart and you're here to go all in on that vision. You have probably been raised with some sort of upbringing where you were taught that it is better to give than it is to receive. Type yes in the chat if that's your experience. It is better to give than to receive. You should give more than you receive, right? And chances are that you've also been raised to be humble, to not speak too loud, to not take up too much space. And in today's conversation, I want to shift that, because the more of us in the world that are here to do big things and here to help a lot of people, hey Tomo, and here to make a beautiful difference and here to impact humanity and make a beautiful contribution to the world in ways that are going to be felt for generations to come, then we need to learn how to create success. We need to learn how to become wealthy. We need to learn how to use our voice and our service and our mission to make a bigger impact in the world. And what do we need in order to do that? We need to learn how to receive. We need to learn how to effectively put a price on our work, on our soul's work, and to be open and available to receive the abundance and the prosperity and the wealth. I had a really cool conversation yesterday with someone who's on this live. It was really beautiful, and I would love to speak into it because we go through a journey of tapping into abundance. And I'm guessing that if you're here, you've been on a bit of a journey where you realize that you are abundant, that you're tapping into abundance all of the time, that abundance is within you, that it's all around you, and that it's a frequency. I 100% believe that. Then we have the conversation around wealth creation. And this is what I want to be speaking about today. And this is what I want to be helping you with, because it's one thing to feel in a state of abundance, but still be living with a scarcity of the resources that are required for you to be doing what you're here to do in the world, and to be living the reality that when you live the dream life that's in your heart and you say yes to that and you step into that, you become proof and evidence of what is possible for humanity, for the people that are here to see you shift and create the results and create the experience in your life, so that you become the embodiment of what is possible. And I don't know about you, but type in the comments if you're obsessed with finding out our human potential in this lifetime. Where are all my high performers and people that are just obsessed from all levels of life? Hey Tomo, hey Andrea, hey Avril, so good to have you here. Totally, totally that perspective. Okay. So today I'm going to be guiding us through a couple of things. I'm going to be guiding us through a couple of I teach on 10 shadow archetypes in our energetic intelligence program from a spiritual perspective. And then inside Magnetic, which is my higher level program to shift into wealth as a entrepreneur, a heart-led entrepreneur, we speak about this from a business perspective. But I'm going to dive into two of them today so that you can see exactly what you need to shift in order to start becoming a magnet for more of the results that you're ready to create. And then we're going to be having a conversation around the two laws that we're playing in. That abundance speaks about one law, but there is two laws that we are operating in as heart-centered leaders that we need to be aware of in order to receive what we're here to receive, right? What we're ready to receive. And then I'm going to share with you an exercise to start shifting that. Does that sound amazing? Does that sound awesome? Just go ahead and drop some love if that feels really good. Yay! Okay, Jen says yes, yes, yes. Love it. Hi, amazing. So that at the end, if you love it, I'm going to share with you something really, really freaking epic as well. So stay around for that. It's amazing. If you have something in particular that you would like to receive as a result of being here in this experience for the next 50 minutes, 45 minutes, go ahead and type what that is in the chat box. When we can show up and we can own what we're creating, we can own our vision and we can own our goals and we can own what we're ready to receive, and we can be witnessed in a space of like-minded leaders, we're helping ourselves to dissolve the shame that is often holding us back. Right? And so I invite you to go ahead in the chat box, in the comments, and just write what it is that you are ready to receive. Is it clients? Is it money? Is it a partner? Is it love? What is it that you are ready? All the codes and downloads. We're definitely going to get that. Streaming through. I've been doing my practices, getting ready to channel. Right? Hey, Pat. So good to have you here. Right? And so we want to look at where we're holding ourselves back and where we're sabotaging ourselves. And the like, if I'm totally honest, you have so much that you're here to share with the world. You are equipped with magic. You are pure magic. But the problem is with all of the conditioning that we've experienced in this human reality, from if you've just tuned in and you're just watching now, I shared some of these things before, so you might want to come back and watch the replay. And what this is doing is I always say this from a shamanic perspective, from an energetic perspective. We've got the collective belief system. We've got our upbringing, so like the country, the culture that we were raised with. And then we've got our closer belief system. So our family, our education, those that we were raised with. And we hold energies and we hold frequencies and we hold these agreements. Agreements are to your energy body what beliefs are to your mind, right? I teach a lot on energy work. I teach a lot on mindset work. I also bring the strategy, but today is going to be a frequency piece because I know that that's exactly what's going to be required to support you in going into the next level. Is that cool? Jess says clients, money, codes, healthy relationships, epic. I'm ready to receive my innate wisdom and share it with others. Yes, you are, Jen. I'm so excited for this. I'm ready to take myself to the next level on my journey towards being a heart-centered coach so I can fully embrace abundance. Epic, epic, Tomo. Ready to balance the law of reciprocity, and so give and receiving flows with more abundance, clients, and next level abundance. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. So what's happening already? And one of the things that for the majority of us in this space, there are two shadow archetypes that are holding us back. The first is the victim, right? Now, the victim is the part of us that is saying anything outside of us is responsible for our reality, right? Now, the piece with this is that a lot of the times we have to remember that we do not get to control what happens. We only get to control how we respond and who we are. Now, the majority of us have so many stories, particularly around scarcity, particularly around poverty, particularly around the pieces where it's not safe energetically for us yet to receive the wealth, the prosperity, the abundance that you require to go to the places that you're going and to become who you're here to be and to lead the mission that you're here to lead. And so we want to look at, where are we holding any sort of blame for anyone or anything at any point in our consciousness, at any point in our reality, anyone outside of us, right? And what we want to remember is, we want to remember that this is happening at a quantum level. And what I mean by that is, you've got this present moment now, you've got the future, and you've got the past. Now, the majority of us, we're focusing on the now, right? Like, you're showing up every day, you're creating content, you're doing your best to upskill and up level and learn and coach your clients and mentor your people and lead your mission and show up on socials and find the best strategy and do your soul's work. Like, you're going all in on that, and that is amazing. But what you're not seeing, and the reason why you keep repeating the same patterns when it comes to money and finances specifically, and when it comes to receiving, and when it comes to wealth, and when it comes to abundance, and you can't break through that glass ceiling that you found yourself at, is because there is stuff in the past that you've brought with you into the present. And so what we want to do is, the goal is always love, right? Like, the goal that we have as heart-centered leaders, creating a paradigm shift, contributing to humanity in ways that majority of people are going to look at us like we're insane. You believe what? You believe you can shift your reality from frequency? What? You believe that going within and meditating and doing breath work and doing shamanic healings and doing this and doing qigong is going to change your life? You're insane, right? That's the collective belief system that most of us are still energetically and unconsciously hooked into. Right? And then it's playing out in this experience of trying to do more, but you're not receiving the compensation, because there is this fear of judgment. There is this fear of what others are thinking, right? And so we put ourselves into a victim. Now, I want you to reframe the word victim, because most of us are going to look at our shadows and go, I'm not a victim. I'm so grateful for where I'm at now. Right? But I guarantee, if we're not where we want to be, when we look at it, there will be a lot of the shadow elements that are still running the show, not necessarily from who you are now, because you've done so much work to become who you are now. You're sitting in gratitude now. But if you have moments and experiences in your life currently, and your initial response goes into fear, or goes into feeling like you're not the one that's in control, right? Like, you're feeling like whatever's happening is completely outside of your power, and you feel helpless to that. That is a sign that you're in victim, right? Now, you might be able to shift out of that instantly if you're aware, or it might shake you for a couple of days, right? Let's say you get a someone disagreeing with what you're doing, or someone that doesn't believe in what you're doing, right? And all of a sudden you're now not showing up because you're afraid of what that other person's thinking. That's an unconscious element of the shadow archetype of the victim, who's giving our power to another person and making us like, I can't show up because of what they think. Right? And we're not consciously doing this, of course. It's energetic, right? It's subconscious and it's energetic. I love working with both. When you shift it at an energetic level, and you shift the agreements, right? We do this practice called commanding the second agreement, which is the highest agreement, which is in alignment with love, which is in alignment with abundance, which is in alignment with your natural state of receiving. And then what happens is you start to neurologically shift this as well. And this is a lot easier once you've done the energetic work around it. Are you feeling this? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I'm a victim, I have to admit. I see exactly what you're saying. Epic, epic. Hello, victim. The victim has worked so hard to protect. Exactly, exactly. So what we're doing is we're illuminating, and we're having awareness around exactly what it is that we know what to shift. Awesome, Avril. I'm so happy that you're loving it. Right? When we can do that, we're doing it from a place of awareness, not judgment. right? One of the forms of self-sabotage, like side note, caveat, is we get into judgment about our own shadow. We see a shadow and then we go into more shadow about it, and it just perpetuates the cycle that we've got. And so what we want to do is we want to remember at the end of the day, you're worthy and you're deserving and you're amazing and you're loved, and there is no shame about our shadows, right? That's the shadow work. It's like when we can see it and identify it and celebrate that we now know exactly what we're doing or not doing or being in the patterns that we're continuing to perpetuate, right? We go into blaming the coach that we hired last year, and there was this experience that was really, really wrong, and we got really upset by that, and now how dare they have done that, and that was bad, poor me, like that sucks, right? And what we do is we end up sitting there, and society, like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I have always been like, what's the lesson? What's the gift? What's the silver lining? Like, that's just who I am. I've been like that for as long as I can remember, since I was a child. Hi, Brooke. Nice to see you. Scared of my potential. Shame is the peace. Yeah, totally. And society, because what do we love? What do we love as humans? We love to be validated. And so if we become the kind of person, right? And this was always the biggest piece of criticism that I get from my friends and from my family until I became a coach, until I became like doing this as my profession, is people don't want to hear, well, what could you learn from that? People want to hear, oh, poor you, that sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Now, of course, we get to realize where is appropriate for that and where is not. But when we're in a space, and right here, right now, we're having a conversation around transformation. We're having a conversation around receivership. We're having a conversation around you being in your power and you being open and available to receive the magic and the prosperity and the providence that the universe, source, God is here to bring you. But we're blocking it out. Remember that the universe can't override our free will. And whether it's conscious or not, it's still our free will to keep perpetuating these victim cycles. And so what we do is we seek validation. I had this really bad experience. Oh, poor you. And then we're at the same time trying to make more money and receive more money and step into more leadership. And we're wondering why we keep hitting these glass ceilings, but we're expecting to be validated for our bad experiences. That's not the level that we need to be operating at if we're here to fucking change the world. Excuse my language. Right? Like that we can't be available for that. And so where are we still playing out this needing people or even ourselves to feel sorry for ourselves? Right? Because we can either become rich, we can either become a magnet for receiving the things that you're asking for and praying for and putting on your vision board, or we can let our shadow lead. We can let our victim lead, and we can stay where we are. There's no choice. Like, there is complete free will around this. There's complete choice, right? And I know, I get it. Like, this is the work, team. This is the work. Like, this is the constant. People ask me, Libby, how are you doing so much? How do you get so much done? Because I'm constantly looking at my frequency, right? I think Dane's on the live. He knows how often, like, this is one of my biggest shadows that I'm always working through. If you want a new level, where's your shadow? Where's the shadow? Where's the victim? Where are you still being victim? Right? If clients are defaulting on their payments or people aren't coming into your world, you're blaming your audience. You're blaming your clients. You're blaming the government for taxing you. You're blaming the economy for the rising cost of living. And that's the reason you're not where you want to be and not receiving what you want to be receiving. That's not the approach that's going to get you the results that you've been praying for. And this is not a way that we've learned. This is radical Radical self-leadership. Because it's so easy to want to stay here, right? Now I have a strategy for this. I give myself permission to be in victim as long as I feel like I'm processing all the emotions around it, right? This is how we shift it. Otherwise, we just end up bypassing it, right? If there's real emotions and you get to know this for yourself, this is the work, and this is so much of my body of work, is being able to hold a high frequency, learn the lessons without bypassing. And there's very few people that I have found that are able to do that. And this is what I'm most passionate at this point in time in helping people achieve. I love the strategy, I love the psychology, but to be able to tap into and choose a higher frequency without bypassing, that is an art form, right? But the world is going to tell you, or maybe you're even going to gaslight yourself, again, the victim, around saying that that's toxic positivity. It's not toxic positivity when you've done the work and you've cleared the emotions around it and you're genuinely able to hold that frequency, right? It's bypassing when you've got emotional turmoil happening and your emotions are still running the show and you're trying to suppress it and choose to think positive. That's bypassing. But when you do the clearing around it and you genuinely remove the triggers, the emotions, and you're able to see situations and genuinely look at them for the gifts that you're receiving, that's where you unlock receiving. That's where you unlock the magic. That's where you unlock the next level of wealth. That's where you unlock the next level of magnetism. Because that's the frequency work. You can't fake that, right? People can fake all sorts of things, but you cannot fake frequency. Right? When stuff's happening in your world and you're doing all the right things and you can't work out why, because you're doing exactly what your coach said and you're doing exactly what the strategy said, but you're still getting different results, it's a frequency issue, right? Which is why we're going into the shadow archetypes, because this is the thing that I don't think I've ever run a free training on this. It's been the deepest work because not everyone's ready, but I got the call, I think only a couple of days ago, and I'm like, right, I'm going to run a class on this. Right, my team were like, you need to teach on this so that more people can hear it and realize it, because you're investing so much of your time, energy, and resources to learning what to do without investing the same amount of time, energy, and resources into figuring out and doing the work to become who you need to be. And what that means is at a frequency, and if we just deepen this conversation on what is frequency, frequency is a measurement, right? I love to bring that. I've got a science degree. I love the science. I love to nerd out on this. Frequency is a measurement of vibration. Vibration is the speed. Vibration is also a measurement. It's the speed that light oscillates. So when we're having a conversation around frequency, for those of you who are very logic, right? I find that the more emotional work that I do and the more energetic work that I do, my mind loves to understand things. It's like I've cleared out so many of the emotions that everything used to be so emotional and so energetic, that the more strategic that we can be about things, it helps get our full body system on board. And so what this means is everything in your reality, right? If we look at everything from a physics perspective, from a science perspective, holds a vibration, holds a frequency, right? The physical reality that we see is made up of particles, right? Light particles. Some of the things that we can see, some of the things that are here we can see, some of the things we can't see, because it's at a different frequency, it's at a different measurement of energy that our sight can see some things and can't see some things. You can't hear sound, you can't see sound, but there's still a frequency, right? And so not all things that are here you can see. And so if you're looking at your reality and you're looking at your results and you're looking at how much you're receiving or not receiving, right? We get to look at this from where is the shadow? And this is why I love mentorship. This is why I love spaces. This is why I love having these tools and being able to have opportunities to reflect, right? The reality that you're experiencing is reflecting back to you your frequency, right? Use the mirror analogy. If you're looking in the mirror and you want to put your hair behind your ears, or you want to make the mirror smile, you're not going to try and go over to the mirror and put the hair behind the ears or make the reflection smile. What are you going to do? You're going to do that yourself, right? You're going to put your hair behind your ears. You're going to smile yourself. And so when it comes to business and when it comes to your leadership, when it comes to your mission, you're so busy taking action and trying to change the reflection without changing yourself. Right now, statistically speaking, very few people live like this because it's simple, but it's not easy. Right? I want to change that, and I want to be part of the movement that we're all creating, that this becomes normality, that people realize, if I want to change my life, I just change myself. And when shit happens in my life, I'll feel it for a little while, I'll process the emotions around it, and I'll do the work around it, but then I'm going to extract the gifts from it. And then the goal and what happens is you get more and more equipped to do that, right? What takes you 3 weeks to navigate right now, right? You get someone disagreeing with you and it throws you sideways for 3 weeks. That's going to take you 3 minutes when you start doing this work. And what happens when that happens is you are then a match for receiving more, right? Hey, Natalie. I love that, Brooke. My car license plate is frequency. So good. If I see you driving around, I don't know where you are, but if I see you driving around anywhere in the world, say hi. That is so cool. Right. That is the first shadow archetype. You guys, there's so much that I want to share, but I'm going to keep it concise for this training. The second archetype that I want us to go into is the princess, right? Or call this the prince, if that applies to you more. The princess does whatever the fuck she wants without considering anyone else. She only does stuff when she feels like it. Or he. Right? It's the part of us who's like, I don't feel like doing that coaching call today, so I'm going to cancel it. It's the part of us that says, I don't feel like doing the live stream that I said I would do, so I'm going to cancel it. I don't feel like going to the gym. I can't be bothered. I don't feel like it. I'm going to not go because I don't feel like it. Or I feel like going shopping, and even though I know that I said that I would do a budget and that I would take care of my finances and that I would no longer spend money on stuff that wasn't moving me towards my goals, I'm going to go shopping because I feel like it. Right? Like a child. There is no awareness of future consequences when you're a child or when you're drunk. This is why I do not drink. It's been 8.5 years, more than 8.5 years that I've now been sober. Right? We're grown adults. Right? Step into your queen archetype. Step into your king archetype. You're not a prince anymore. You're not a princess anymore. And if you want to run the business and have the mission and have the movement, you need to learn how to run your business. You'll need to learn how to manage your finances. You'll need to learn how to do launches. You'll need to learn how to deal with difficult people. You'll need to learn how to have difficult conversations. You can't keep running away from everything anymore. You can't keep just doing what you feel like. If you want to grow your business, you'll need to learn the new way to do that. Right? If you want to change your future, you'll need to make changes in the now. And so what we want to do is we want to shift the patterns so that you become the queen or the king archetype, right? It's the princess becomes the queen or the prince becomes the king. You've heard the saying of a boy does what he wants, a man does what he should, what he needs, right? Like, you're here, and every decision that you're making, are you being of service or are you being of self-service? And for those of us that are choosing to create the paradigm shift that we want to see in the world, there are going to be different choices that we will have to make each step of the way. Now, I believe that you can have amazing things in this life. Like, if I think back to even 6 years ago, when I was 2.5 years into my sobriety journey, just starting in entrepreneurship. I've been in full-time entrepreneurship for 6 years. We're in our 7th year now, at the start of our 7th year. It was early 2018 that I quit corporate. And I look at the life that we're living now. Like, I heard back then of this woman that we knew who was doing $30,000 a month. And I was like, I can't even imagine what that would be like. And in my mind, I thought $30,000 a month would be like millions. Like, I couldn't even comprehend millions. Right? And like, just this life and the people that you get to serve and the work that you get to do, it's incredible. But you're going to need a different version of you. You can't, like, if you're not where you want to be, you can try and do all of the things that you want to do. And we see that a lot in the world. But those that are truly creating success, right? If you watch anyone, any professional sports athlete, any Olympian, any successful business woman or businessman, anyone that's a successful entrepreneur, the one thing that we all have in common is, who do we need to become? And we're aware that there is a different version of us that needs to come to the table. And so this is the constant work. I teach my clients that it's in the micro moments throughout the day, right? And I'm talking, and this is why you change who you are on the inside out, and every area of your life gets better, right? Like, I'm in better shape than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm healthier with more energy than I've ever been in my entire life. My relationships are so fulfilling, more than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm more confident within myself than I've ever been. I'm more successful than I've ever been. I'm more wealthy than I've ever been. Right? And this is like, when you do this inner work, every area of your life benefits. You might have arrived today at this conversation or be listening to this because you're wanting to receive your next level of income, or you're wanting to receive, I love some of you said the codes and the frequencies and the wisdom, right? Maybe there's a specific area, but when you do this work and you become who you're here to be, in the most empowering version of you, empowered version of you, where you're interdependent, not codependent, you're self-reliant, but you allow yourself to receive from others, every area of your life will shift, right? Most people want to change their partner. Dane and I, we've been together coming up 10 years. In less than 6 months, it'll be 10 years. We have never tried to make each other change. Maybe in the first year when we were both still drinking, maybe. But all we do is we work on ourselves. And we have honest conversations, and we have hard conversations, and we have courageous conversations, and we're both alphas, and so we butt heads. a lot of the time, but we don't try and change each other, right? And so how many of you in your relationships are trying to change the other person, right? You can't apply these teachings and this knowing just to one area. Like, I'll just do this just for receiving more money. I'll just do this just for my business, but I don't want to do it when it comes to my relationships, right? It doesn't work like that, right? You're a multi-dimensional, holistic being. And so one of the ways that we actually look at, where is this playing out and where am I sabotaging myself, right? And oftentimes, a lot of the work that I do, people want to make it about money or about their leadership or about their business or about their clients, right? I just attract entrepreneurs most of the time because it's the way that we create the change in the world that we want to create. It's very hard to be working a job and create all of the ways that you want to contribute to humanity when you've got the confines of a job. I do work with people who still have jobs, but their goal is most of the time to step into their own business for this reason. And so when we look at this and we look at all of the different things that we get to do and all of the different things that we get to become, it would be impossible for everything not to shift. But what we do is, if we're looking at money, for example, things that are more hidden, like who do I need to become, or where's my shadow, what's playing out here, what am I not seeing? A way that we can often see what's happening in our inner world is we look at the relationships around us, right? Your relationship with money specifically is a direct reflection of your relationship with yourself, right? Which leads us into, gosh, guys, there's so much that I want to share. Leads us into the pieces that I really want you to start working on to create the shifts. I want you to look at where you have put others on a pedestal and where you are pleasing others, right? This is still an unconscious, or sometimes it can be delving into more of the covert narcissism where we really feel sorry for ourselves, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But it's a shadow archetype when we aren't owning our self-worth, or we're putting others above us, right? You're trying to please everyone around you. And so in order to receive more and to become a match for receiving more and to be a channel to receive more, whatever the receiving more is for you, right? Chances are, if you're wanting to receive more money, you're also going to become the kind of person and develop the leadership and the expertise to become equipped to have the capacity to be able to receive more clients, right? Like more money, you wanting more money, but you also need to sharpen your sword to be able to hold what that's going to look like. That's going to look like changing your bank accounts. That's going to look like having better systems in place. That's going to look like having the capacity to be able to take on more clients. That's going to look like, right? Like I asked a client the other day, how would it feel if you had 10 times the amount of clients come in right now? And she's like, and her system went into overwhelm. I'm like, right, well, like if we want more money, we also need to shift that, because it's not, oh, let me just focus on that. And this is why when we play at a frequency level and you have the self-worth and the self-respect to do what you need to do and become who you need to become, this is when everything shifts for you, right? It's so fun as well. When we play like this, it's like a game. And when we get it and we start to see these areas that we've been holding and sabotaging ourselves back, but from letting the shadow lead. Hey Tui, hey Geeta, hey Shanita, hey Natalie. Right? And so when we do this and we see it like a game, we stop the shame, right? Stop gaslighting ourselves and just see it for what it is and take the gifts and take the lesson and take the responsibility, right? And so what I want you to do is I want you to stop putting your self-worth last, right? Stop discounting all the freaking time. Stop not showing up, right? I want you to have the self-respect. Where do you get to up-level your self-respect? If you were to fully and truly respect yourself, what would you be doing differently, right? In your life, in your relationships, in your business. I want you to stop taking the weight of other people's opinions on board. I want you to trust yourself so much that when other people share their opinions, whether they agree with you, whether they disagree with you, whether they believe in your vision, whether they don't believe in your vision, you take it as that. It's just an opinion, right? Thanks for your opinion. You don't need to take it on board. So many of you are holding the weight of others' opinions so much that it's keeping you stuck at your current capacity for receiving. Right? And again, there's probably some deeper work around this, which is the work that we do in the spaces where it's appropriate to do so. I want you to also then look at what you've got to do to actually create the wealth, right? This is a conversation around receiving, and there is a belief, or there is an illusion in the online space. Maybe it's in the personal development space. Maybe it's that, like, when you start doing this work, you're like, oh yeah, receiving, I'll take a bubble bath. And you guys thought you were going to come to this call and probably have a conversation around how to open up and receive more, right? Like, I can give you those tools, I can give you those techniques, I can give you those shifts, right? But that's the little things. We want to shift at a core level, right? And so most people think that you can be in either giving or receiving, or that you can be in doing or receiving, and that if you're doing, you're not in receiving. There is a higher way available, right? And that higher way available, can I share it with you? Are you ready to receive it? Hey, Andrea. Awesome. Just drop some love. Okay. The higher way that is available for you is that you get to be in both frequencies simultaneously. You get to be taking action and a channel for receiving. And how do you do that? You clear out all the emotions, you clear out all the triggers, you clear out all the stuff that's blocking your receiving, right? Because I guarantee right now, even check in with your body. How's your jaw? Where are you clenching? Where are you holding on? Right? How are your butt cheeks? And what I mean by that is oftentimes when we're in survival and when we're in scarcity, or when we're not in receiving, we're so tight around our root and sacral chakras, right? Around these energy centers in your physical body, right? Your goal, and this is where, like, I mean, I used to say I don't agree with hustle at all. I have changed my philosophies around this, because what I have realized is in order to go to where you want to go, we can be in flow, but we can be in divine hustle at the same time. And so there is a state that's available, right? And this is how we're growing to 7, 8 figures. This is how we're growing to impacting millions, is from taking the aligned action, but in a state of flow. So I don't need to go, I mean, I still take a lot of care of my body. I still have a very long 3-hour morning routine. I'll get up at 5 if I've got calls at 8, right? That's including all the stuff that I need to do for my mind, for my body, and for my spirit to be prepared to go and serve for the day. And then I will still do things where, like, it's the yin and the yang. But a lot of the time what's happening is people are so focused on action, and they don't have the energetic or the somatic experience to be able to receive. And so they need to, a lot of the time what we'll often do is, when I'm starting to work with someone, is I'll get them to start taking time off, like to train their body on how to receive and how to relax. And once you've got that, then you can shift into both simultaneously receiving, being in alignment, being in a high frequency, moving through your day with flow, but you're taking action, right? Like, if you look behind the scenes and how I run my day, like, I'm a very slow person, but I'm taking a lot of action. I'm taking a lot of action, and I'm doing it aligned, I'm doing it precise, I'm doing it in flow, which is how I make money no matter what I'm doing, right? I could have a month where I'm hardly working, right? I think last month I was traveling, I was traveling full time for a month in April. I was traveling a couple of times for the first several months of this year. In fact, I think the longest I was in one place this for like 7 months, up until only a couple of weeks ago, was 3 weeks. I was like traveling all the time, and I was nervous about that, because in the past I would have to either just be very strategic, like working to bring in resources and move the businesses forward and move the missions forward. And now, no matter what I'm doing, right? Because when you unlock this capacity to be able to take action and receive simultaneously, you like, it doesn't matter what's going on in your world because you change your set point. Relaxing is tough. Totally, totally. Yeah, okay, we can definitely go into that, Katie. Yes, sus the body. Agrees, I should get to, especially as a projector, Tomo. Right? Like we love stillness. I still allow myself like a pajama day every week, pretty much. I don't always get it perfect, but and then I'm in tune with my cycles as well. So operating at full capacity for about 2 weeks of the month, and then just really listening to the rate that I can go. But there's still that set point that we get to shift for ourselves. There are two laws that we operate in. We have the universal laws and we have the economic laws. And the universal laws, this is where give and receive is always in balance. Everything must be in balance, but the universe will not override our free will. And like we spoke about at the start of this conversation, whether it's conscious or unconscious, there's still free will around the frequency that you hold and that you're tapped into, and the agreements that you've got at an energetic level, the thoughts that you think, all of the experiences that you've had, and who you're being, conscious and unconscious, in this present moment is still your free will. Right? So you might have heard the law of reciprocity, you give and then you'll receive, the balance of give and receive. But the majority of the time, you've got all of these shadows playing out. That is still your free will, right? It's your free will to shift it too. And so you're giving and you're expecting to be able to give and just receive, but you've got all these stories around don't be too loud, don't be too much, don't do this, don't do that. Your victim's still running the show. There's still a lot of stuff around it's bad to receive. Like those are all the agreements that you've got to clear out. And when you do that, that's when you're able to operate in harmony. Like there is a natural balance that takes place, but you also have to show up for that. Right? You have to have the self-respect to receive. You have to have the self-love to receive. You have to have the self-worth to receive. And so what would your next level of self-worth, self-love, and self-respect look like? The second law that we work with is the economic law. Right? And this is the one that most, when we're doing the spiritual healing, we love the world of magic. We want to ignore this one for a lot of the time. Right? How many times have you heard, and I hear this all the time in the spiritual community, and I completely disagree, because I think it's an effective way right now for the world to operate, is I wish there was no such thing as money. And guess what happens? I wish, right? That's what you're saying and that's what you're believing. That's the frequency that you're putting out. I wish there was no such thing as money. I wish we didn't need money. The universe is like, oh, okay, your wish is granted, madame. Right? And then here you are going, why don't I have the money that I want? Why am I not receiving in the way that I want to receive? Well, because you're wishing it away. And so we are playing in an economic world. And when we learn this and we understand this, it's fun, right? I studied economics. It was my favorite subject at high school. And then I studied it through university as well. Like it's just, again, I'm a nerd. I love it, right? And so it's basic economics. The value that we bring into the world, into the marketplace, and also being in the right place. If you're trying to sell your services to the wrong people, they're not going to buy it. If you try and put a premium flower shop in a low socioeconomic area, it's not going to do very well. But if you were to put an op shop or a thrift shop in a low socioeconomic area, it'll do better. If you put the premium flower shop in a more affluent area, it will do better, right? And so the majority of you're trying to sell your services to people, or that like there's a mismatch. So we want to know that. And then the other thing is the demand and the supply, right? Is there a demand? What's the supply that you can provide? And then what's the value that you place on that? And then what's the value that the people that you're selling to place on that? And that's where a lot of the disconnect is happening. So I want you to start playing with that more. This is what we do in my world when we're working together on your business. This is the kind of conversations that we have, right? In the higher level spaces that we get to play with. And so what I want you to do is I want you to develop the muscle of seeing your value. And this is really cool because when you get this and you get the universal laws and the economic laws, and you're never going to learn this anywhere else because this is my work. This came to me. Maybe they might have channeled the same thing, right? But this is what I teach. And when you look at it this way, you've got the energetics, right? So you're playing with the universal laws, and then you've got the economic laws, which is where the strategies come in, right? But we need both. And the cool thing about, like, I've seen this work miracles. I was working with an incredible healer a couple of years ago, and she was a high performer in leadership, working with corporates, teaching emotional intelligence. Yet she kept like hitting the same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. She went through an awakening and she messaged me and she goes, Libby, I get what you're talking about now. Holy shit, how can I hire you? And we worked together for, I think, 6 weeks. And then she went and had $150,000 in her first year of a new business that she started. And she said that it was down to the energetic work that we did together in that short space of time, because we shifted so much at a vibrational frequency level. And she now teaches energy work. I worked with a doctor on this as well, who's very logical, very strategic. And we brought in the universal laws and the energy work and the shamanic work, and we did a lot of clearing around this. And she was burned out. She was on the verge of like quitting and burning down her entire therapy practice. And with this work, same thing. We did 3 months together. And within that time, she shifted so much and started doing £22,000 a month in her therapy practice, right? Not from working harder, but from shifting at a frequency level. I've seen this work miracles time and time and time again. I am living proof of this work. It is like blowing my mind. And when people apply it, like when I see people apply this and they value themselves enough to step into my like deepest spaces with me, right? It's scary. It's scary to the ego. It's deep transformation. What does the ego want? The ego wants to stay the same, but there's an ego death that has to happen, and that's challenging. And so our brain goes, I really, really want that, but I'm too afraid, and so I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go with the easy option. I'm just going to choose the strategy option. I'm just going to choose that. But when you know that there's work that you've got to do, can you be in that full faith and that full trust of your heart and your higher self and what you're being guided to, whether it's with me or someone else or not, or just on yourself, and you equipped with all the things to be able to do that, and you already know how to do that, right? But either way, you need to give yourself that self-respect to be able to do that, right? No one can do that for you, right? I haven't got here from it being easy decisions, right? Like, it's been fucking testing, right? But that's what it takes. Like, how willing are you? I want to share with you an exercise that you can go away and do to shift everything, and then I want to share something really cool. Does that sound amazing? Does that sound cool? Oh, yay. Nerds are awesome. Hope. Hey, Hope. Hey, Karen. Oh, Katie. Yes. You're amazing. The exercise is raising your levels of wealth, right? Now, you might have heard me teach this before, of raising your levels of tolerance, raising your minimum standards, but specifically look at your capacity to receive. If we come back to the mirror philosophy, hey, Chanel, if we come back to the mirror philosophy, your reflection in your world is your frequency. This is what you're currently tolerating, right? Regardless of how you got here, you're tolerating it. Right now, your current reality, your current financial situation, you are tolerating it. And so this is where we start to see the minimum baseline that you're currently working with. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at, what are you most committed to? Right? Because you can either stay committed to being the victim of the current circumstances that you've found yourself in, or you can be more committed to your growth and your transformation, right? But only you are going to be able to make that decision. So what is your current situation? What is the minimum tolerance, right? You're looking at your bank accounts, you're looking at number of clients, you're looking at your launches, you're looking at your relationships, you're looking at your health, you're looking at whatever it is that you're wanting to increase, you're receiving around. And in order to be able to receive, we want to know what we're working with, right? It's like a map. In order for Google Maps to show you where you've got to go, you've got to put in the start point. You can't just go, I want to go there, show me how to get there. Google Maps is going to say, well, where are you now? Like, I can't show you how to get there if I've got no idea where you are, right? So where are you now? And then I want you to look at, What are you no longer available for? And what's the new minimum standard? It might be a number, it might be a specific, it might be a detail, whatever it is. What's the new minimum standard? And then you want to look at, who is that version of you? What is she or he no longer playing out? What is she or he now choosing in terms of their thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your decisions, how you choose to lead yourself every single day? Right? If you do this exercise can make you so much money. This exercise can shift your entire relationships, your entire reality, when you realize that you're the one that holds the key, you're the one that holds the power. Let's go. Yes. This has been amazing, you guys. There is so much more that I want to share, but you're incredible. Do I have your permission to share one final thing that is an incredible, amazing, exciting opportunity with you? And has this been helpful? Okay, cool. So there are two things that I want to share, and then I've got a call in 3 minutes. I'll be very quick. If you want to dive into all of the archetypes, the shadow archetypes, and all of the universal laws that are currently holding you back, and you want to walk through all of them, and you want to walk through all of the strategies as well, your aligned strategies to get to where you want to go in your business, Magnetic is the place that we do this. It is an insane value. The level of transformation, the level of work, the level of expertise that you have access to in this program is a no-brainer offer right now. If you're interested in this, all right, energetic intelligence is where we go through the shadow archetypes around so that you can raise your frequency specifically in your spiritual journey. Magnetic is the place we do that specifically for your business so that you can receive 6 figures, multi 6 figures. This process that I'm taking you through has created, and I've received over $1 million in the last 4 years from this process that I'm teaching you. It is high level. It is not for everyone. You have to be ready for it, but it is the transformation that I know that you've been probably praying for in your business. It is for leadership. It is if you're ready to go to the next fucking level and take your mission to places that you know that you're ready to take it and that you're being asked to take it, and you want to be equipped with the leadership, with the frequency, with the inner work and the tools to be able to make that possible. This is the space for you. It's 3 months. If you would like information about it, please send me a message. It would be an honor to guide you and to walk with you in this journey. It is potent, it is powerful, and it is next fucking level. The second thing that I want to share is when you join Magnetic, you get to use that as a credit for something like amazing that I'm creating next year, that's launching next year. If you would like to go on the wait list for the thing, send me a message. When you join Magnetic, you get that as a credit. So you essentially would get Magnetic for free if you decided to join, and then join the other thing as well. You get to use it as a credit towards, it's a 9-month experience. That's high level. That's the deepest way that we're going to be able to work together next year. If you'd like to go on the wait list for that, or if you'd like information about Magnetic, send me a message. It would be an honor to guide you into your next level and to witness the version of you that you're here to be and become, and to support you and be part of your success team as you do that. I have to jump off. This has been amazing. I would love to hear your biggest breakthrough or takeaway from this. Drop it in the comments, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.